Hey, what's going on? It's Bill Burr. It's time for the Monday Morning Podcast for Monday, August 5th, 2024. What's going on? How are ya? Oh, Jesus Christ, with the fucking Olympics. Wah, ba, 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 ba. Fucking 2 weeks straight, my wife has just had it on in the background. She never watches any real sports. You know what I mean? But these fucking events, you know, people shooting guns, 3-on-3 hoop, ping pong. She can't get enough of it. Cannot get enough. Oh, so-and-so's getting on the hobby horse. We got to go see it. Which, listen, I like the Olympics too. Wah, ba, ba, ba. I mean, how the fuck do you not get into that? The fucking song just makes you feel like you're on the inner circle. Like you got invited to something you had to go out and rent a tuxedo for. That's when you know you've made it, when you own a tuxedo. At least as a white man. If you're a white man and you own a tuxedo, that means you're getting invited to a lot of balls. And that's where the real decisions in this country get made. All of you fucking idiots wasting your time watching these goddamn debates and all of this shit. Like, you don't know who you're voting for already. Everybody knew before old man Willie retired. Everybody knew fucking before Trump, was on Trump. Everybody already knew. So anyway, everybody sits around and they watch that, right? And it's become such a fucking joke. They don't even talk about policy. Like, I don't know when the last one was. I do love that fucking Trump is going Manny Pacquiao now and he's fucking ducking people. I mean, I was looking forward to that. I feel like if he goes and debates a woman, it's going to look like my stand-up act in about 2012. Oh, Billy was pointing the finger. You know the ACDC song? I put the finger on you, yeah. My hands all out of control. That was me. Oh, Billy, everybody else is the problem. Not the fucking see-through man on the stage. He's got it all figured out. Anyways, yeah, if you're a white man and you own a tuxedo and you're going to like political events where you have to, it's required in fundraising and fucking $5,000 plates of food, yeah, that means that you, as a sociopath, potential sociopath, depends on how many balls you continue to go to. Depends if after a certain amount of time you start looking at that tuxedo not as though you finally got a membership to that coveted golf club that you wanted to be in. You look at it and it makes your stomach like feel a little queasy, and all of a sudden you don't want to go. Then you're still a person, because you might have just bought the dream that, I'm going to go there and I'm going to know the mayor. We're going to get some things done and we're finally going to fix up these public schools. Why am I talking about this? Because I saw this fucking clip that was trying to explain why people get into conspiracy theory. And I said, all right, this is interesting, because I've had my deep dive into it, and then I got out of that, but then, I never let go of it. I don't know, this is just being a jaded, I never think, what you're telling me is what's really going on. This is your version of it. Like being a police officer. Anytime there's a fender bender, you go up and both people get out of there. They stand next to the car pointing at each other. He fucking was driving like I was going down the road. Hands at 10 and 2. And then he goes over to the other person. Christ, she's a fucking maniac. She came out of nowhere. I have a brand new prescription on my glasses. I can see from here to the fucking Palos Verdes Peninsula. Yeah, I don't know if it is fucking conspiracy. I just think it's fucking literally just how people are wired. So anyway, I'm on the fucking Instagram because I am 100% addicted to it. And this guy was explaining why people get into conspiracy theory, but what he was really doing was shitting on psycho fans of Donald Trump, like Red Hats and all of that, and all of their beliefs about fake news and blah, 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 all this fucking shit. And I'm listening to this guy, and for like 10 seconds, wait, so you're saying all conspiracy is because of this personality makeup flaw? That's what the fuck you're saying? How many fucking documents need to be unclassified and they're still classified? They're still putting the black ink over it because we can't possibly know what the fuck they're really doing. Take where I live, everybody. You take it. You stick your fucking hand out and I'll drop the city of LA right in. The fucking traffic problem out here. They made a fucking cartoon, Roger Rabbit. They referenced it. Nobody gives a shit. What do you get, your fucking tinfoil hat on? At one point, believe it or not, Los Angeles was viewed as having the greatest public transportation system, better than New York. I don't know if if they threw that shit on there to make it sound, but no one can even, oh, come on. No one can believe it. They had red cars and yellow cars, street cars. And they went all around LA and you didn't have to have a car. And then this new corporation came in and bought them all up, called the National Transit Rail fucking whatever. And it sounded, well, okay, this rail company's buying this other rail company. Nobody seemed to give a shit. But then they found out it was owned by GM, Firestone Rubber Company, and some fucking bus company or something like that. And they started buying these streetcars up to rip up the tracks so you'd be forced to buy a car. And in 1948, there was an antitrust lawsuit against them, which they lost. They were convicted in court. But this is the funniest thing ever. They only got a $5,000 fine. They got a slap on the fucking wrist, and they were allowed to continue doing what they're doing. To the point, from the 1940s, LA went from the greatest public transportation, arguably, in the country. And by 1961, the last streetcar was running. And then the big fucking traffic jam started. And then everybody starts feeling, oh my God, what the fuck is wrong with LA? Ba-ba-ba-ba-ba. And then you try to tell them, and then they say you're a fucking conspiracy theorist. I don't know. So I'm not saying that but what I don't like is that being conspiracy theorists, you get lumped into people that think the moon is made out of cheese, that the world is flat and we're in a giant cereal bowl. They always like to go with whenever they talk about conspiracy theorists, they like to go with the fucking most craziest mentally ill thing they can possibly come up with. They don't want to come up with like this whole global warming shit. Scientists were warning them since the late 1950s, and these fucking people just didn't give a shit and just kept plowing for, it's not going to happen in my lifetime. Let the next generation deal with it, whatever the fuck they thought. And now here we are. And are these companies going to be held accountable? No, you and I are. They're going to hold us accountable. They're going to fucking hold us accountable. And you're going to get charged for your carbon footprint. You're going to get fined for playing the game that they fucking created. That's how that shit works. So anyway, I don't know why I got on that fucking thing. That's because you got your fucking tinfoil hat on. I don't even know what that means. Tinfoil hat. Trying to think what that means. People were trying to communicate with other people beyond the dead, using some sort of the cheapest form of metal. Is that what it was? Anyway, let's get on with my week here. My Boston Red Sox have been winning as of late. I can't get too excited. They fucking did well against the Texas Rangers. They did well against the Seattle Mariners. These are not people that are going to be there in October. However, we got our fucking asses whipped by the fucking Dodgers and the New York Yankees, who, by the way, neither one of them is really fucking burning up the fucking boards either, are they? This is sort of a very, I I think as of right now, the fucking Baltimore Orioles have the best record in baseball. Oh, God, here comes my son. I knew I couldn't get up early and do this. Maybe he's just getting a snack. Anyway, yeah, I'm a little jet lagged because I was back east. I was visiting the family back east. And, I was on vacation, so I was in bed every night by like fucking 9:30, and I was sleeping until my kids came in and woke me. It's really my son. He always comes in and wakes me up. Fucking come in at 5:30 in the morning. Dad, make me breakfast. He still does that. I'm just, waiting for him to outgrow that. Anyways, but back to the baseball. Back to life. Back to reality. Back to bread and circus. Hey, why am I saying hey? There's a documentary you have to watch. It's on Pete Rose. It's a new 4-part documentary. I got through about 3, and I couldn't fucking watch it anymore. But I'm telling you, it is what nobody's talking about. I saw somebody did something, said it was sad and blah, blah. What nobody's talking about is that Pete Rose is, I think the guy is just a complete narcissist. The way he takes like no responsibility. Like I just watched the guy and I'm like, this guy could have been in the Hall of Fame 20 years ago. If he had just, when he got caught, just said, you know what, they got me. You're right. I did this. Yeah, I let down my fans. I let down baseball. I'm ashamed of myself. Major League Baseball is 100% right to give me a lifetime suspension. Nobody is bigger than the game, and it includes myself. I just want to apologize to everybody involved. I am guilty. I'm sorry. And just walked away and never fucking said anything. If he just did that, he would have been in 20 years ago. But he continued to say that he didn't bet on baseball. He continued to fucking lie. And then after like 20 years of saying that, when he finally comes clean and admits that he bet on baseball, he goes, fine, I bet on baseball. Now let me in the hall. That was his apology. So, everybody's just sitting there going like, I feel like at this point you can let the guy in the Hall of Fame, considering Major League Baseball is now involved in taking bets and all of that. But what they were talking about, like, the reasons why this guy got suspended. If you watch the whole thing, he starts off betting on basketball and football, and like everybody, he's fucking losing. And then when he got to baseball, he'd be killing it because he knew everybody in the fucking league. He knew all the ins and outs. He had all this inside information and all that, and he would fucking be destroying. But the problem is you still lose. So eventually you get yourself into a level of debt that you have to do something to try and make it up, and eventually you got to throw a fucking game. That's what they worry about. I'm not saying Pete Rose did that. But if you watch this Pete Rose documentary, like, I love Pete. I am a huge fan of the baseball player. Watching how he conducts everything else, I'm not. But I'm also trying to figure out who this guy is through a fucking documentary. But the accidental comedy in it is anytime they ask him about gambling, he acts like he can't remember, right? Like at one point, the guy, and it was a pretty softball, like, questions. He's pretty much asking him about, playing and his philosophies and all that. And Pete is just lit up like a Christmas tree. But whenever this guy asks him about fucking gambling, he turns into a little badger, man. It's fucking hilarious. Like, he'll be like, Pete, do you remember the first time you bet on baseball? And he stares at him for like a half a second. And he just goes, I mean, you must think I'm a fucking genius. I mean, Jesus Christ, that was like 40 years ago. I can't remember what I did last week. How the fuck would I remember? He gets all fucking defensive. And then in the same documentary, at any point, he'll be like, it was 1979. We were playing the Pirates. John Candelari's on the mound. I go down 0-2 after chasing a slider in the dirt. He had like a photographic fucking memory of anything that he did in baseball. Like, dude, the way he went through the 1975 and 76 World Series, the guy remembers every fucking game. He remembers every fucking inning. Anything about gambling, he just starts going like, I mean, I don't know. I mean, if that's what they said happened, then I mean, that's what happened. I mean, it was like fucking, you're going back 35 fucking years ago. 1963, we're playing the Dodgers. Sandy Koufax is supposed to be on the mound. Guy by the name of Flip Johnson comes to the mound. Nobody ever heard of this guy. Threw a fucking knuckleball like I never seen. He could remember the name of every fucking bum-ass pitcher he ever faced that spent like 2 weeks in the fucking league. Anything about the gambling he could remember. And then he has this young friend that he like totally grooms to help him, place his bets on baseball and everything like that. I don't know who the fuck told him to do this documentary, but I feel like this thing is just another major step backwards. And also, I feel the fact that baseball is involved in gambling now, is making money off of it, hurts Pete's case. Because I feel like now he's going to be like, all right, we have to not let this guy in. So on some level, we show that we're still against this while we make money off of it, which is pretty amazing, that they've come around. Like the level of fucking greed. Like you weren't making enough money with this fucking billion-dollar TV contracts. You have to make it like super accessible for all of us to go out and start gambling and all of this shit. I don't know, the whole fucking thing is, I don't know. I don't know what to think about it. I mean, I like to gamble. Football season's coming up. I like to have a little money on the game, fuck around, but I put a little money on the game. Like, I don't bet more than I'll bet like $100 or whatever. The only time I ever put, like, the biggest bet I ever made was $1,000 in Vegas. And when I saw the fucking Kansas City Chiefs were underdogs in the Super Bowl, I didn't even think about it. It's like, there's no fucking way I'm not getting that back. All right. Tom Brady just retired. Okay. Patrick Mahomes is the heir apparent. The league needs stars. So, and the stars get the calls, and the stars earn the calls because they're the ones that get everybody paid because everybody loves them or hates them, but they sit down and watch them. So I just felt like that was just a lock. I mean, I guess really me taking it away from the Chiefs. Chiefs know how to fucking win. That's basically it. Although, people talk about how they get called for 1 million holding calls and they've never been called for a holding call in the Super Bowl. Who knows? Maybe they play that disciplined. So, Billy Freckles, what did you do on your vacation? I spent a ton of time just playing with my kids. Basketball, tennis. Yeah, my daughter took a tennis lesson. I forgot there was a moment in the 80s with the oversized rackets when the graphites first came out. I'm old enough to remember wooden rackets and wooden drivers. Like your grandfather's and your dad's first set of fucking clubs. They would have fucking wooden drivers. So I had, what fucking racket did I have? Began with a P. I can't remember, in the 80s. Penn. Giant fucking racket. And, tennis was, big, after Bjorn Borg and John McEnroe. And it just had, fucking meatheads like me going out there and, talking shit, smashing the ball. We used to fucking get into it. Me and all my drunk friends from high school. We would start talking shit. You'd start watching the U.S. Open. And I think Andre Agassi, he still had the hair. And they were really selling, the attitude of tennis and all of that type of shit. And all of a sudden, Reebok had, fucking these super colorful fucking tennis sneakers. The next thing you know, us fucking morons were going out there in these public courts, annoying all these actually, real tennis people, who maybe gave up their tuxedo to the ball so they're not a member of a fucking tennis club. Anyway, I don't think I've played in fucking 35. Geez, you must think I'm a fucking genius. I can't remember last week. How the fuck am I going to remember when the last time I played tennis? So anyways, first time I got drunk, I was drinking Michelob Lights down in Faneuil Hall, 1985. It was 76 degrees out. Very little humidity. Anyway. Pete, just stop talking. Just stop talking and actually just stop talking. Just talk baseball. Don't talk about any of that. Just be like, yeah, I screwed it up. I don't deserve to be in the hall. They're right. Just do that. I guarantee you'll fucking get in. But he's 83 now. Unreal. That's kind of a game for me. Spot the narcissist. After 32 years of being in this fucking business and just having the rug pulled out from underneath me, the amount of times people have stolen and just material, money, whatever, legit hardcore fucking friendship, and then bam, you figure out who the fuck they are. So, you got to start looking for red flags. So here's one I found on the Instagram web there. Let me see if I can find this thing here, because I have to read the comment. All right. So, unfortunately, NHL goalie Creed Jones passed away in a motorcycle accident, right? It says 2000 to 2024. So immediately I'm thinking, first of all, how did the kid die? And then I found it was a motorcycle accident, right? And then you just, thinking about their parents, their siblings, and all of that. And then also just how fucking fast a life that is and how sad it is, right? So I go to the comments, and I'm reading through. And then it took about, everybody's like, rest in peace. What a tragedy. I am heartbroken. Condolences to your family. Normal responses. And then the narcissist out of nowhere. This person writes, I will never own a motorcycle. No way. I've seen the damage done with them. Sad. It's like, oh, I thought that this was about the tragedy of this kid dying. Oh, this isn't about that. This is about you. Dude, nobody asked you whether you've ever owned a motorcycle or if you ever will. I will never own a motorcycle. No way. I've seen the damage done with them. Sad. Then I love that. Actually trying to have an emotion. Sad. First of all, the person makes it all about themselves and then also elevates themselves of I took this information of the things that I've seen. And I would never make this choice that ended this. He's using this person ending their life to elevate how intelligent he fucking is. Now, I know you think I'm paranoid. I'm not. This is the type of shit. Okay? For you fucking young people, you have to understand. Okay? Okay. You got to understand how many fucking narcissists are, and they just fucking walk amongst us, invisible. And these are the fucking people that tear up fucking train tracks. These are people that get us involved in never-ending wars. These are people that fucking poison food supplies. These are people that go on fucking Instagram. Like this guy right here. This guy is a rated G narcissist. Because as far as I know, he's not making any overall decisions at balls wearing his fucking tuxedo that he owns that are going to affect humanity adversely, right? Oh, I know. I'm tying it all together here. This guy, he's like a tadpole narcissist. He's growing into a fucking... The other night, I went out to dinner, right? And I am not an eavesdropper, okay? But the way they had us sat in the acoustics of this room, it was annoying how much of the conversation, these people, it was weird. They were far enough away that I shouldn't have been able to hear them. And, I fucking playing drums all these years. There's no way I should hear them, but there was something about the shape of the room that like it was kind of bouncing over, right? And it turned out that this woman, one of Nia's friends, saw me laughing, and she goes, "Are you laughing at what I'm laughing at?" And I found out she could hear it too. And it was this young couple out to dinner, and I just wanted to get up and tell the girl to just get the fuck out of the relationship. Like the guy at one point, he goes, "Okay, so what are your biggest concerns so far?" Which sounds like a business conversation. And the woman said something to the effect that I have a little concerns about your family. And I couldn't quite hear what she said. And then his response to that was, "Okay, just get that out of your head." And we were joking at the table, "Get it out of my head." It's not in my head. It's in my feelings. It's in my heart. This is what I'm feeling. He immediately takes it out of how she's feeling, and he puts it between her ears, and he starts gaslighting her like she's acting fucking crazy. And I glanced over there, and I saw her trying to do the fucking math. And I had I was like, "Yeah, I've been there. I'm in a fucking situation right now where I didn't listen to my gut." It just fucking happens over and over. It happens less, but it's fucking out there. So anyway, we went to the shores of Massachusetts and then over to Martha's Vineyard and spent a glorious week down there with my lovely wife and family. And I just, I try to do different shit this year. I was like, I'm going to go on that fucking biplane ride. I was like, all right, if I get to it, I get to it. I didn't end up getting to that. I went to some different restaurants. I went to some different parts of the island. And then a good friend of mine took me out clam digging, which I'd never done with this fucking, 60-something-year-old sea captain that had seen it all. And we went out there. I got a fucking bucket of clams. And it's funny, you're out there and they just talk about all the houses, like, so-and-so lives there and this person lives there. This person just sold the house to the fucking, Queen of England or some shit like that. Like it's some pretty, that island living, it's just fucking next level. So we're out there, in like knee-deep water with these fucking rakes. Like I'm in One Morning in Maine, the Robert McCloskey book that I've read a zillion times to my kids. And we're pulling these things up, and they're just going around. This is just like in Seattle when we took that little boat ride, and they were going like, "That's the guy. See that house? That's the guy that started Zillow. Okay, that house. That's the dude that started YouTube. That's Bill Gates. All right, that's that guy right there. His great-grandfather invented the orange construction cone." Just shit you take for fucking great. Oh, that guy, yeah, every orange construction cone that's made, their descendants get a nickel. Is that, oh, dude, you have no idea. People, think about it. People run over them all the time. We haven't come up with a better technology to fucking, anyway, that guy right there invented the fly swatter. It was the same thing down there in the island. So it was pretty cool to just like, that island is like interesting. The Kennedys are there. Belushi, John Belushi, way back in the day, used to go there and chill out. And so anyway, I don't know why I'm telling you all that shit. So we're fucking digging for these clams, right? And we out there for like an hour. Great workout. I still have a blister on my thumb. And we get all of these fucking things. And I got some whoppers. The whole thing is if it falls through the rake, don't take it. But even like some of the ones that looked like they were still adolescent, I was like, fuck that. And I threw it back. Aren't you a conservativist? What do you call it? Conservationalist? Yeah, so brought it back to the house and made, I don't know, fucking threw them in the pot. What do you call that? Linguine with clam sauce. Ended up making that, and I had it like 3 nights in a row, and it was fucking fantastic. Dude, we were out there, and the captain was like cutting them open. We were eating them right there. And it was just, it was amazing. And I was talking to this guy, and he's going like, yeah, I fish over there. I get my clams here. I got some chickens. They give me 3-4 eggs a day. you know, once a year I shoot a deer and that's my fucking steaks for the year or something. I was like, this guy's getting, I go, you never go to the supermarket unless you're getting condiments. He goes, yeah, that's right. It was something like, for all of these fucking people that live in cities who trash people that live in the middle of nowhere, the fact that they know how to live off the land, do you realize that just literally, that is the off the grid you want to be. You don't want to be off the grid, living, maybe you do, living out there, your wife has hairier legs than you do at that point. I mean, if that's, walking around smelling like a beaver pelt, that's what the fuck you want to do, God bless you. But the off the grid you really want to be is you not only can you know how to live off the land, you can where you live. So then when they're just like, oh my God, the dollar collapsed today, or the fucking stock market, oh Jesus, 10,000 jobs just went away and they are not coming back. So now you'd be like, all right, well, I don't have any money coming in, but I can still eat. And I have fresh water. So, like, other than that, I can keep wearing this shirt. Like, what is the fucking problem? My question I have is technology keeps eliminating these jobs and doesn't seem to be creating new ones other than, I guess, robot repairman. We need you to fix the lights in the A for the AI sign we have outside our business. Like, what are they going to do with us? I saw a thing the other day that said that California approved fake meat, like man-made chicken. They're gonna make chicken that has no head and no feet, because they don't even want to deal with a live chicken. Like, just can't make enough fucking money. And now they're doing I love that all these reports are finally coming out, because it's basically illegal for them to say what's really in food. And I'm feeling like that's starting to fucking come back up. Or maybe I've been clicking on it, so that's coming on in my feed. But getting back to that conspiracy theory, when I actually was looking up this morning why LA has the history of LA's traffic problem, I kept being driven to CNN. And they sort of took this whimsical, like, LA, you go in LA, you better get ready to sit in some traffic. They completely did not report on any level about GM and all of these guys, Firestone and all this. Those guys fucking advertise on their channel. They just they were just like, there's a lot of people out there and people in LA, they love their cars. I mean, that was like how much they skimmed what was fucking going on out here. So my question is, what the fuck are they going to do? What you going to do? What you going to do when these fucking corporate guys, all the jobs are gone. And then they've fired everyone they worked with. Like, take my business, all right? They're gradually going to phase a guy like me out and everybody else. Like, they're not going to need creatives. They're just going to need people to button push. Kind of like, we don't need to hunt. We can just go to the grocery store. So you don't need to hunt until you do, right? Plane crash or fucking, you wash ashore like Tom Hanks in that fucking soccer ball movie. Well said. What the fuck are they going to do with all of us? They're going to put us all out of work. They want us to buy what they're making. That has to be such an interesting fucking thing to be doing. Like, I want to fuck over all of humanity for my own benefit, but there's a level that I can't fuck them, or else I'll be fucked. Or do they even think that? Do they just think, somebody else will figure it out? I have no idea. All I know is I went clam digging and came home with a bunch of clams. And we were eating them later on that night. And I kept joking to Nia, going like, you're eating that because I went out and I got it. I hunted for these things, felt like a fucking man. That's a fucking great, I will say that, that's a great feeling. All of these fucking twinkle toes out here in my business. You know, it'd be amazing to get a fucking vegan to fucking shoot a deer. Just go with me on this one. Okay, and then he brings it home. He feels sad. They make him butcher it. Right? Be careful. Netflix will make a series out of this. Vegan carnivore. What? We took 20 vegans and stuck them in the forest with no berries. So you make them fucking kill the deer. And then he sits down to dinner and everybody's eating the venison. And his wife looks at him a different way because he now knows how to provide. He's not out there with the basket on the front of his fucking bicycle, you know, gathering nuts and berries. He actually went out and fucking killed an animal. And then she just fucks the shit out of him that night. There's a lot of variables here. I'm just assuming that his wife actually secretly wanted to have some venison. I haven't worked this out. This is what, like, if you ever want to know how to write a script, this is how bad it is when it starts. But if you keep working the idea, you know, you keep working it like Phil Necro with the fucking baseball in between each fucking batter. Or I'm just doing, maybe I'm a narcissist. Maybe I'm, because I had such a good feeling about actually eating food that I went out and got. I mean, let's be honest. As far as hunting goes, clam digging is maybe one half step beyond nuts and berries gathering. How fucking great. You know, they used to act like everybody died at 30 years of age back in the day. They didn't. I think back in the caveman days they did, when you were literally out in the elements and you didn't even understand what a fucking shirt was. And you're walking around hairless with your dick out, trying not to get fucking eaten by a saber-toothed tiger. I think then, yeah, the stress of that. But, like, you know, I cut through a graveyard when I was on Martha's Vineyard, and there was a bunch of people in the 1800s, bunch of them living into their 70s and 80s and all of that. So then you combine, like, I read this thing where there was, like, they were talking about how back in the day there was actually a lot more leisure time before we got involved in the rat race here. Like, once you fucking killed something, all the guys would go out, right, with some fucking curtains over their junk and a sharpened stick, and they'd go out there and they'd fucking kill a woolly mammoth, and then they were like, they could eat, I don't know, how did they refrigerate it? I don't know, but they were good for like 3-4 days. They could just fuck, hey, what's one? You know, get the fire going, and you just fucking, as they say overseas, lazing about doing fuck all, right? You didn't have to go to, yeah, great job in the meeting. All right, see you tomorrow, nice and early. You know, it wasn't that. It wasn't the rise and grind culture, all of that stupid shit. You killed something, you fucking ate it, you were full, and you just fucking chilled out. I think once you had an established village, well, still at night, you still had to worry about shit coming in. I don't know. I think they had it down. I saw this group of guys in Africa, right? And they were like this tribe that was still living the old school way. They went out. All right, they had their shields and they had their javelin spear-looking things. And they went out, okay, and the way they had their defense, Bill Belichick would have loved it. These fucking lions they walked up to a pride of lions. The lions ran away. They were afraid because they knew that they would kill them. And they went fucking right up. And the first guy, like an NFL quarterback throwing a timing pattern, just throws a fucking dart at this goddamn lion that's starting to run away, gets it right in the side, it goes right into its heart. The fucking thing takes 3 steps and collapses with the fucking, it's like a giant rake sticking out of it. They went out like, fuck this, we're eating lion tonight. And they just went out and they fucked this thing up. The other lions saw it, they're like, goddamn, and they killed the fucking the one with the Bob Seger haircut, right? The fucking male. And all the other lines like, Jesus Christ, they fucking ran away. And then these guys just like butchered it. And I'm thinking like, they're kind of good for a while. That's like what, 800 pounds of meat? Minus the skeletal system and whatever you don't want to fucking eat. The head. Sorry, I was on an island for a week. This is a little fucked up. Let's get to, I don't have any advertising. Is it a conspiracy? All right, let's get to, get what the fuck I wanted to, I brought my guitar on the vacation too. Oh, Billy Cialis. Out this is my favorite thing. I told you my daughter came down on me about the cigars. So I had a nice run. You know, it was time to take a break. So I'm 6 days in, and now I could go fucking 600 days. It's weird. I don't know why I go. Oh, because probably I have an addictive personality. All right, sorry, I should have figured that out. All right, here we go. We got some reads from some letters from you guys. Let's see here. What do I got? Thanks, this says. Hey, Billy Big Bullocks. I'm a 24-year-old guy from Sydney, Australia, and just wanted to let you know it's now been 8 months since I finished cancer treatment. Oh, Jesus. Wanted to say how the podcast helped me get through that tough period of my life, and the laughs I got from it were a pretty good medicine. It also helped served as a reminder that no matter how bad things got with the good poison going in me, at least I don't have to live as a fucking ginger. Love the pod and go fuck yourself. Well, you don't know what it's like to be me. You got no idea. Sticking out like a sore thumb your whole fucking life. I remember when I was a kid, I used to think my whole life would be different if I had brown or black hair. And like the amazing level of success that I would have, you know, my popularity, the girlfriends I would have, the job, you know, I could wear Larry Bird short shorts and a fucking half shirt. And not listen to people tell me how fucking white I was. Oh my God, look how white you are. Anyway. But it works out. It works out. Being a fucking oddball really is a major part of my entire personality. Never feeling like you fucking fit in. Always feeling like, you know, there's the group and then here's me. Like, how do I fit in this fucking thing? Yeah, I always told you. I've said it a million times. The first time I felt like I was part of the group was the second stand-up comedy show I ever did. I was in. I went to this place, Stitches Comedy Club, that no longer exists, and it was open mic night. And I remember standing there amongst the other open micers, and it was the first time I ever felt like, you know, being part of the group. I was like, yeah, these people are the same kind of fucked up that I am. Anyway, well, I'm very happy that you're cancer-free, and I'm glad I gave you some laughs during there. And that was a tremendous, tremendous setup of the left hook to my freckled jaw. So good on you, you fucking down under cunt. Oh, by the way, this is something I did with the internet. My son is like obsessed with ACDC, and now his latest song that he loves is what is it? It's a long way to the top. It's a long way to the top if you want to rock and roll, right? He loves that song. So I'm watching it, and I'm sitting there looking at the video going, that looks like Melbourne. I don't know if it is or not, but if it's not Melbourne, it's probably Sydney. Who knows? But Bon was from Perth, and they sang about the highway to hell, driving to all of these fucking gigs in the middle of nowhere. Who knows? But on the 1 millionth time of watching that video, I actually saw a street sign in it. So I looked it up, the shooting location. It was in Melbourne. I looked up the street, and then I Google Earthed it. And there's a lot of it you can't go down the street. And I was able to find one of the buildings in the background. So if I ever go back to Australia, which I hope I do, just waiting for my kids to get a little bit bigger because I'm going to bring them. Because I don't want to be. I don't know. I did do Abu Dhabi. And I was gone then. I don't know. It just hasn't fucking worked out. But if I ever go back there, I am walking I'm watching the video and I'm taking pictures and I'm walking that entire fucking street. And I don't know why. Because, you know why? Because like no other band, that fucking band, I don't know what it is about them. There's just like a fucking connection with that band that other people have with like Bruce Springsteen, the Beatles, you know, Michael Jackson, Stevie Wonder. Like you just have that fucking band that you connect with. And that Gangnam Style guy, he's still fucking huge over there. That's one of my favorite videos to watch is when he's like underneath the stage and he's like, not yet, not yet, not yet, not yet. And he's like, okay, now. And they fucking shoot him up, the Michael Jackson thing. And he shoots up in the air. The fucking place goes wild. Fucking wild. Like it's like as far as the eye can see, people absolutely losing their fucking mind about that guy. Anyway, that's when I had my downtime on the island. I somehow figured out what street they were. Well, the street's in the video. I finally noticed it, I should say. And then I Googled Earthed it. For what? So at 56 I can walk down. And this is where Bond was playing the bagpipes. I don't know what that is. Here's a question I have. If any I'm sure some psychologist is listening to this for the wrong reasons. For reasons I wouldn't want. Here's a question I have for you. What is it about when you get in your 50s and you start seeing celebrities from your childhood like dying? Why is that so fucking depressing? Like, you know, like when guitar players or drummers from like bands there was always like the tragic death, somebody overdosing. I don't mean that. I mean like the band that you saw, you were in your teens, they were in their 20s, and then fucking all of a sudden, like, you're in your 50s, they're in their 60s, and one of them dies of some fucking cancer. Just some regular, I don't know, but you never met him and you don't know him. Like, I've lost a ton of close friends, so I understand the sadness of that. But there's something about, maybe because they were like gods to you when you were a kid and they looked immortal. And then to just see them die, you're just like, okay, this is going to get too fucking dark. Anyway, let's plow ahead here. Big fan from Scotland writing in. Oh, by the way, thank you to everybody that went out to go see Bianca Cristobal out there in the Edinburgh, what do they call it? The Fringe Festival? I don't know what the fuck they call it. She already has a bunch of hilarious stories about being over there. I believe that she's moving to a new venue, which to me means that, like, because her shows have been selling really well, maybe they're thinking, oh, you know, she can go to a bigger place. So definitely check her out. You know, what the fuck is, I swear to God, why can't I? It's not a hair. I have a fucking crack on my cell phone screen. How did that happen? I bought the fucking protector thing. All right, let me finish the promo here. I got like 5 fucking cracks in this thing. Oh, God, now I got to go down to the fucking place. Why is the Apple Store so fucking depressing? Is it because they try so hard to make it not depressing? Is that what it is? The geniuses. That's a classic corporate move. Congratulations. We've decided to hire you as one of our geniuses. Oh yeah, what am I making? Am I going to make a genius fucking salad? What does a genius get paid at the fucking Apple store? Shit. But you get to walk around with the shirt that says genius. How are they a fucking genius? That's what I don't understand. You're a fucking genius. The genius is the person that came up with the device, not the fucking person on the floor that had to take a course to learn how the device works. So when some shithead like me walks in, be like, I don't know how to do it. They go, oh, this is how you do it. All right, we're not going to get involved in that. I'm not going to be trashing the common man in that fucking creepy, culty fucking Apple store. All right, zombie apocalypse. Dear Billy Fanny Baws. I don't know what that means, but I'm sure wherever that's from. Whatever. I got to look that up. Fanny Baws. Big fan from Scotland, writing in. Your thoughts behind having a helicopter during a zombie apocalypse? No, it was it was really more if when the dollar collapses. Have inspired me to start my own lessons. I always thought planes were the ultimate getaway vehicle, but the zombies could fuck up your takeoff, and I don't want to be crispy BBQ haggis for the zombies. Well, what I will say about planes, though, is you can go a lot further, a lot faster. But the helicopter is you can up and out in an emergency, up and out, any tight situation, that's what the fuck you want. And then you can pretty much land. You don't need an airport to land. You definitely need, an acceptable surface. But, try to find something as even as possible. Big fan from Scotland writing in. Your thoughts? Okay. So my question to you is, if you had to pick 3 comedians to be in your zombie kill team, who would they be? All right. Who would they be? Nobody is coming to mind. Who I'd want to go on tour with, I could talk to you all the day long about. And let me see, who's a good gun guy? I don't know a good gun guy. There's got to be somebody. I mean, a legit fucking grew up with them. That's what how about the criteria? All right, I'd have to have one comedian that did jail time for beating the fuck out of somebody and went in jail and survived. All right, well, can I pick people that aren't alive anymore? All right, one of the first guys I would have got would have been Charlie Murphy. Martial artist, went to jail, survived it. I remember he said that to me one time. He never used to say Bill. It was always, hey, yo, Bill. Hey, yo, Bill. Bill, let me tell you, he used to just talk through his teeth when he would be fucking getting into something, right? And I remember we went to San Francisco. We were doing that Rich Bitch tour. It was me, him, and Donnell. And Donnell was talking about how he wanted to go to Alcatraz. Let's go to Alcatraz. Let's check it out. And I was like, I've been there before. I'll go check it out. We were kind of excited to go do it. And we were like, Charlie, you want to go? And he was like, no. He's like, I've been to prison, okay? That's what he said. He goes, you guys are going to go out there. He goes, and you're going to go into a jail cell. They're going to close the door, and you're going to put this tough look on your face as someone takes a picture of you. And he goes, but I actually went to jail. I've actually been in jail, and I never got raped. Can you say that? Then he, this fucking big laugh. just laughing at us. So, and I used to ask him about this shit all the time. And he would break down how not to get raped in jail. And he said, first guy that stepped to you, he goes, I don't care, even if you're going to lose. I remember this. He goes, you just got to fucking, what do you say? Go buck wild. Just swing for the fences. Just be a fucking maniac. Whatever you got to do. Just fucking put up a fight, and then people won't fuck with you. You won't be looked at as prey. So anyway, he would definitely be in there. Yeah, and then I would just want people, that had been through some shit, maybe ex-military background. I would go with that. I don't know much about zombies other than that you got to shoot them more than once. I could definitely say that I would be the weak link. I mean, I wouldn't have any problem killing a fucking zombie or whatever, but it's just like I would need earplugs, because it would be to the point, if I started having to shoot guns without earplugs, the level that my ears would be ringing, eventually I would turn the gun on myself, and I'm not even lying to you. So it's just like, okay, what is the end game here? I kill the zombies so then I can listen to wow the entire fucking night in my ear. This guy, much love to you, the lovely Nia, and the family from all the way in Bonnie, Scotland. Alba, go bra and go fuck yourself. Jessica Alba. Drunky. Uh-oh. Kids are up. Oh, 4 minutes to go. Hey. Hang on a second. All right, I'm back. That was my son. Dude, my son is the sweetest. And he's a lunatic. Always coming in. Wants to fight all the time. But when he wakes up in the morning, listen to the noise he's making up there. The smile on his face. It's just so awesome. Anyway, what was I talking about? Oh, the zombie apocalypse. Yeah, I would definitely be the weak link in the whole thing there. I don't know, whatever. My preparation for the zombie apocalypse is I'm not doing anything. I don't want to survive that. I don't want to rebuild society, and I don't want to be there as I watch sociopaths once again fucking take over the narrative, and decent people just being like, yeah, that guy's kind of, I don't know. We're living in the zombie apocalypse right now. I actually think we are. I do. It's just the nuts are running the fucking nuts house. All right, documentary suggestion. Hey, Bill, I really hope you watch this one. It's a documentary called The Mayfair Set. It's four parts, and it chronicles the huge economic shift and the way the power shifted in London between huge player and the old guard. It's not just depressing or boring either. The style of the doc is archived interviews of old men giving firsthand accounts and thoughtful narration, which I think is better than listening to some 40-year-old explain things that happened through their biased lens. You really got to check this one out and report back. Here's the link. It's on YouTube now. I will check that out, although it seems like it's going to be really depressing. All right, last one. A what-if question. Oh, by the way, you know what I never saw? I never saw Punch Drunk Love. I started to watch it the other night. I got to finish it. I got the kids. Arguably one of the most beautiful movies, the first 20 minutes that I saw ever shot. I absolutely loved it. I gotta, maybe tonight I'm going to sit down. I'm going to make sure I start it early enough. It's so fucking funny. I'm at this age, like, if the movie goes past 10 o'clock at night with the kids, I fall asleep. Okay, a what-if question. Iced out pendant. Dear Bill, the great Bostonian Burr. I'm from the suburbs. All right? The greater Boston Burr. I'm going to make you breakfast in a second, buddy. I just got to finish this here. Hang on. No, please. Daddy, make me some breakfast. The streets want to know The streets want to know. Not really, it's just myself. If you were into jewelry or hip-hop pendants, what kind of custom pendants would you like to have on your chain and why? P.S. I can picture you with an iced-out diamond 4-leaf clover with the green emerald outline about a size of a $50 coin. Yeah, Celtics. Oh, that's the direction you're going in. No, I actually really like jewelry. It just looks stupid on me because I feel like you got to have a little bit of pigment to pull off any sort of gold. Oh, Jesus. You guys asked me some tough ones. Zombie apocalypse. Who the fuck are you picking? Streets wants to know, you're into jewelry or hip-hop pendants? What kind of custom pendant chain would you like to have? It wouldn't be of me. I wouldn't do remember there was a moment there where people would have an iced out picture of themselves, which is the funniest fucking thing ever, or like a microphone, I don't come from that level of impoverished background where I got to be like, this art pulled me out of the fucking basement of the tuberculosis department. What the hell would I have? You know what I would have? I would have a fucking iced out skillet and me making an egg sandwich for my kids every friggin' morning, because that's basically what I am. I'm essentially the Mel Sharples of my family, and I also love doing it. And I also love that someday when my kids get older, hopefully they'll talk about what a great dad I was, and one of the things that they'll bring up is that I made them breakfast every morning because I love doing it. And it's funny, like, when I was a kid growing up, like, you had pancakes on Sundays. That was it. That was fucking it. But because my kids, their dad is a stand-up comedian and I don't have to be anywhere in the morning, like whatever the fuck they want, I make it. Whatever you need, it's coming your way. So, it's probably a bad answer. I don't know. I guess I'm not into jewelry. I like jewelry on my wife. Marking your territory, letting other guys know that she's taken care of. Fucking back off. Call it the warning lights. No. I can't get, like a watch. Listen, I'm not into necklace. I'm not going to get a necklace. I had one in the 80s. You called it a chain, but let's be honest. It was a fucking necklace, right? What would I get? It would be something understated. Oh, you know what I might get? I might get an old Cleodio, my old dog. That's what I would get. See, this is why I'm not in those types of world, I'm not in the flashy world. For all my fucking cursiness, I'm a fucking big old softy. Like dogs and making fucking breakfast for my kids. You know what this sounds like? This sounds like a first date with a narcissist. I like children and fucking doing all this stuff, and then turns out to be a maniac. All right, I got to go to work here for the kids. Doing it for the kids. I'll go fuck yourselves, and I'll see you on Thursday.